It's the day after the last day of the expo, and we camped overnight here still, and now we are packing up our tent and heading off to Sedona.
Hey everybody!
Welcome back to Notier's Frontiers Diaries. Today we are in gorgeous Arizona once again.
Yep.
And in this episode we're going to talk about our incredible time at Overland Expo WEST, which was in Flagstaff, Arizona.
You know, that's kind of a home away from home for us. We've been there multiple times as attendees, as presenters, and just great group of people on both sides of the organization. A lot of coffee. So we made it to the expo.
Yes, we did.
And we are in the expo line. The expo. We're on our way to good old motorcycle camping. They trimmed down the camping area a little bit this year, but we're a day early, so we should get a nice little shady spot. Alright, so what are you thinking?
Anywhere around here is good.
So this is the moto camp area. Our bike is over yonder.
And now we're heading over to
Happy hour.
Happy hour.
Free drinks. That's worth the admission price.
And it's also really nice to kind of socialize with everyone who we haven't seen. But the free drinks.
You know, it's such a cool community of other presenters as well.
It's the best.
You know,
I feel like Overlanders are just the greatest in the world.
Yeah. I'd almost rather be sober than get this line.
Oh, I know, right?
So there's a pump in there, but we're changing it so that we're just gonna have a Schrader valve kind of sticking out to the side that you can pump up.
Nice.
It's got like 7 inches.
Oh wow, look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So day 2 of the Overland Expo.
Hopefully this will be an exciting day. Yesterday was real nice.
It was really nice. It was very windy, so a lot of vendors had some issues with that, but we were indoors. So that was very fortunate.
Yeah.
And then today looks to be really nice weather so far, so fingers crossed. This is Brady from Meerkat ADV, and he is a dear friend of ours, and in fact he inspired us to do the Colorado BDR.
Indeed.
She's calling me, like the rainbow. She's calling me, like the rainbow.
He did the gnarliest part too.
He's like the VDR expert, I think. We met Brady with Meerkat ADV. We didn't meet him because we've met him before.
We met up with him.
Met up with him, that's right. He was camping in the moto camp area just like us.
Yeah, and kind of just a BDR theme for the next couple of videos here, spoiler alert, but like, he goes around on his little T7, on his Yamaha Tenere, and he's been doing all the BDRs. I think that's one of his goals for this year.
Yeah.
So
You just came from doing the Arizona BDR.
And the New Mexico BDR.
And the New Mexico BDR.
So I had done the New Mexico BDR before, because I did that in 2020, but then I followed it up here to Overland Expo. So that was a lot of fun.
And we're going to do a little piece down back towards Phoenix, which is nice. And we have somebody who just did it and said, hey,
You'll live.
Well, you'll live, but avoid this part.
You may not love, about 10 or so miles of it, but you'll live. So I am currently trying to do all of the BDRs this year.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm continuing up the Arizona BDR from here into Utah. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, Brady always has adventures. You should definitely check out his channel. It's Meerkat ADV, and it's awesome. We're always looking at your channel for good advice.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I love watching your stuff and seeing where you're at.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
So,
You know, and we're very interested in BDRs as well, but one up without any luggage BDR versus two up and overloaded BDRs. Like, I feel like I should make my own BDR difficult scale based solely upon being ridiculous. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone we get to meet who has already been around different parts of the world, we can bleed for different information.
Absolutely.
You know, behind the scenes, the staff are just a bunch of travelers and adventures too, so. It's all our friends. What up, dude?
That's my favorite part, is seeing all the people who I haven't seen in a year or two, and good friends. Here's Go Roughly, our dear friends from Guatemala. Hey Moxie! You are so comfortable, aren't you? Can you ever tell, like, when she wants to get off? Like, oh, she has to pee or something?
If she needs to pee, she'll start fidgeting. That I get. Sometimes she'll even use her paw and she'll push it on my back.
Really? I just really appreciate that you guys have thought so much about, like, safety and also, like, the comfort of the dog and beauty as well, because it's got all co-pilot Moxie.
Yeah.
But also meeting new people who are adventurers and travelers, and people who want to be inspired, and people who are also just inspiring. We also got to talk to Mosko Moto.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They
Pete,
are
Ash.
amazing.
This message has been brought to you by. It was not Pete. This one's brought to you by Tim Notier. But
and what was really cool was talking to him about some of the new stuff that Mosko's getting into. So obviously they make bags, but they've also gone into apparel.
no insider information. Because we know we can't tell the world about their awesome new stuff.
No, we're totally going to tell you about their awesome new stuff. But they also are going into armor now, which is super, super exciting. All the possibilities that are going to be with that. So it was really, really great to talk with Mosko Moto. And one of the best things about the expo was, before you'd been complaining about not having cruise control on your motorcycle.
Yeah, my wrist was killing me after like 2-3 hours, right? Like, my wrist is pretty good for a while, but I knew on the trip over from here to even Oklahoma, I was like, I'm getting a Atlas throttle lock.
So here's the bottom kit that we're gonna be slapping on there. If you haven't seen one of these before, they're pretty simple. This comes apart so you don't have to take off your grips or your hand guards to install the Atlas. We're gonna apply a friction pad here. It's made of polyurethane. This hinges out and pushes against the side wall of the throttle housing. And then when it pops back in, it's back to regular throttle action. So for example, you're going 60, you turn it on. It's holding that throttle position, not necessarily your speed, but it's holding that throttle position. Then you can accelerate and decelerate just by leaving it on and rotating the throttle. So it's pretty straightforward.
It was really cool to run into Heidi and David.
He was able to invent this incredible small machine that mechanically holds your throttle in place.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
No, it is really, really, really cool.
We came up with the name Atlas Throttle Lock because, one, we wanted our business name to reflect international travel because that's what we love. So we wanted it to feel global and expansive, but it stands for Adventure Touring Leaves All Signs. The logo itself is a street sign in Germany that when you leave the city and you enter open spaces, it has the speed limit crossed out, which means there are no more restrictions on your travel. Limitless. Which is, yeah, you're limitless. So that's where we came up with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Boom.
One of my favorite parts of the expo is, besides just presenting and selling our books at the book area and all of that. Oh, and the round tables. I love the round tables. They're so super, super fun. But it's just hanging around the moto camp and talking to the other motorcyclists. We'll be cooking on our little stoves and sitting in our chairs.
You always have good neighbors. There's no bad neighbors.
That's right.
You know,
There's
really,
never
really
bad
cool.
neighbors at the expo.
You know, and we finally met some people that we've been back and forth on communication on, you know, social media for a long time, like Destiny and her husband Jim.
Yeah.
We're on their way to Alaska. We met a brand new friend, Bobby, who was down in Sedona. And
Bobby and Mike.
Yeah.
And Bobby and Mike invited us out to where they live in Sedona, Arizona. Now, we'd been to Flagstaff quite a few times to go to Overland Expo West before, but we'd never been to Sedona, which is nearby. Sedona is famous for its beautiful landscapes.
Yeah.
It's an incredible desert, but also its vortexes, which I'm not quite sure what that is.
There's one in New Mexico and one in Sedona, and then you can just kind of portal back and forth.
I think there's at least two in Sedona. I'm not sure. But it sucked us in anyway because we were like, yes, we definitely want to go. It's the day after the last day of the expo, and we camped overnight here still. And now we are packing up our tent and heading off to Sedona. But first we're going to do a little suspension check because, you know, we're kind of heavy on the motorcycle. We want to make sure the suspension's just right. And then apparently it's going to be a beautiful ride to Sedona. So I am definitely looking forward. Oh yeah, this is the thingy.
So you've seen one of these before?
Yeah, Dad sometimes can put those on his RC cars.
Well, you got out at least. Just took a little bit of pushing and shoving.
Getting a golden fleece.
Yay!
Go over where Jon Snow is now no more. He's just a couple stitches away.
The new one. It was gorgeous. It was dramatic.
Arizona keeps blowing my mind. Like I think of like it just as like a desert in my Chicago head, right? And like, you know, the Grand Canyon and other vast dry landscapes, you know, that are desert-esque and crack your lips and rah, rah. But yeah, this ride down 79A or whatever, 89A, I don't know, it was absolutely beautiful, and it was a great ride all the way down.
Yes, so surprising too. They had a little bit of construction going on, but it was almost nice because it would stop the traffic, and then you take a moment to really see your surroundings instead of just gliding through it, which is also nice.
Yeah, I don't like stop traffic. I like gliding through scenery.
I tried to appreciate it in its own way.
Marisa has a much better outlook on pretty much everything. But just being stung by a bee just awakens your senses. It's just like, sure. No, not a big getting stung in the face by a bee fan. Yeah, no, it was a lovely ride. We made it all the way down there. We got a new sheepskin.
We did.
Yes, a golden fleece.
The golden fleece. You can see it here on our
You can barely
motorcycle.
see it there on our motorcycle.
Sedona has all sorts of little cool stores. They have crystals and rocks that they sell there, but they also had a place that sells hides, and so we were able to get this sheepskin, and I really liked the color.
It's nice. It's not as like long-haired hippie as Jon Snow was.
Yeah, I think he may have been alpaca. We did get him in Peru, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but no one could verify or deny.
No.
Like, nobody could.
No, but everyone could say that, wow, it's a really long-haired sheep.
This is true.
But we have this awesome new one, and very, very comfortable.
John was good. He was our buddy, you know. But, like, it wasn't, like, treated like you think of, like, the bottom of, like, a rabbit pelt. And so he had some hard edges that would dry out, you know, and almost become, like, weak fingernail-esque, and they would start digging into my legs sometimes, so...
Yeah, he was... just cut off the animal, you know, the day before.
And he was 2 stitches away from me repairing him from becoming 2 separate sections.
He'd been eaten by a couple dogs, so, you know.
He's seen some things.
He's seen some things.
So we retired him.
Yes,
yeah.
Unfortunately, to the garbage can.
Well, I was gonna, that's where sheep hides retire to.
Goodbye, Jon Snow. You were so good to us.
Do you want to do the honors or the dishonors? The sadness.
Sad. Goodbye, Jon Snow. But we have a new one.
This is true. All dogs go to heaven, but all sheep hides go to the garbage.
Yeah. And while we were in Sedona, Bobby and Mike told us about this place that was hiking distance.
And just to be clear, we're not hikers, and so as he's like telling me all these great hikes around, and they're very big hikers, I'm just like, oh
yes.
Wow. Hiking is not my forte.
But once they realized that hiking was not our forte, they said this one was doable.
Oh, yeah.
It was to a Buddhist stupa. So kind of like at a Buddhist temple, sometimes you will have this large tower building that is called a stupa. And they had built one not too far in Sedona. And of course we wanted to go visit this place.
Well, they had this wooden statue of, I'm going to say Buddha, just because they're all Buddha to me, right? But I'm sure there's other, you know.
It's Buddha.
Yeah, it was Buddha. Nailed it. You know, and his Buddha position. But like behind him was Chimney Rock and, you know, this beautiful landscape, red scenery. And it was really cool to walk around, and they had the little, this is how educated I am, prayer wheels. So I was going to say spinning things. And then I walk around and I'm spinning the prayer wheels, and then Marissa read the plaque. You're supposed to spin them in a clockwise motion.
That's
and
right.
I was undoing prayers. So.
But then we made sure that we did a lot of clockwise.
Yeah,
Yes.
I vamped it up over time in the clockwise direction.
It was just a really nice, calming, beautiful area.
Cool.
The prayer flags were blowing in the breeze, and there were these wind chimes, and it was very quiet and very peaceful. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
From there, on our way back, we decided to get a little bit more adventurous with our hiking.
Not even. We went up another 10
We
minutes.
went up a mountain.
Yeah, we went up the backside of a mountain. But
It's called Sugarloaf.
Sugarloafs aren't known to have massive peaks. I don't even know what a Sugarloaf looks like, but
It's pretty rounded.
it's pretty rounded. Yeah.
But we went up it,
Yeah.
which is pretty incredible for us. And we got a beautiful sunset view of Sedona, a real great lay of the land. It was the perfect end to our little venture into Sedona and the greater area of Flagstaff.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we did it. And then we were plotting out our next adventures, which would be the Arizona BDR, starting, not all of it, starting near Flagstaff. It's been fun, folks. It's the first time we've put our new bike with the new sheepskin
Yes,
through some
dirt.
through some things.
yes, it has seen some adventures, and
Yes.
so have we now. So
This is
please
true.
stay tuned and check out the next episode. And I hope you liked this one. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding, ding. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
One day.